viewers at home, welcome to yet another exciting moment with us on this program, Future Ambassadors. I'm Mosola Adokai Ugundele. Today we are looking at something very, very important, which is affecting the society as a whole. We want to look at molding the attitude of a child towards a better citizen. We can see that the society is not really what we want it to be. So we want it to work out, we want it to be what we want it to be. That's why we're discussing this topic today. And with me in the studio are two lovely guests that will be doing justice to this topic together with. And I have Joseph Aremu, a youth. You're welcome to this program.
Thank you.
And I also have the mother in the house that will be doing justice to the parental aspect of this topic. I have Mrs. Oluwa Fumilola Joshua. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, it's good to have you. So now we are looking at molding the attitude of a child towards a better citizen. So now let's look at what the society is all about. Let's look at how the society is. Are we really having the youth that we are supposed to have? Are we having the children that we are supposed to have in the society? Joseph, let me go to you first.
All right, thank you for that question. The answer to that question is actually in two ways. We are having the kind of the sets of youths that we are always expecting to have, and at the same time we have some that are not meeting up to our expectation.
Okay.
So because we all are not in the same phase or on the same page.
Okay.
We have some that are doing well, and we have the others that are not doing well to expectation.
Okay.
So, but generally, as we are speaking, the society is not very encouraging to anyone or to everyone.
Okay.
If it is encouraging to some, it is just on some people's side, not circulating to everyone's side. So the society in general, and if the people getting positive response from the society are just 10 to 20% out of 100%, then we can categorically say that it is not helping anyone at all, because it is supposed to meet up to expectation at least 80 to 90%. Then we can now say, okay, the society is helping everyone. But since it is just helping just a few.
What do you mean by the society not helping everyone?
Yeah, the society not helping everyone. What I mean by that is we see what is going on around us lately, and we listen to the news every day. We see what is happening, the youths going into different things, and the order of the day now is either they are into fraud or they are into what is not even supposed to be heard of. So some were pushed into all of those acts based on the present status of the society, and some, we should not neglect the background, the family. Family pushed some into it. Why the society pushed some into it? Some people were raised from a very humble family, yet they had the intention of being good citizens of the country, but at some point in order, when they could not meet up to standard, and the society is expecting more from them, so they had no option than to go for
or do something
something irrelevant or something not
like peer pressure and
yeah, exactly.
Okay,
so
let me go to Mrs. Oluwa Fumilola. So ma, you've heard what he just said, that the society is a cause of what we're experiencing now, and now narrowed it down to the family. So actually, let's look at what we are experiencing in the society. Why are we having children or youths that are not meeting up to standard?
Of a truth, just like he has rightly pointed out, the decadence in the society is as a result of the sick state of the family.
Okay.
The family is the smallest unit that makes up the society.
Yeah.
But when the family is sick, there's no way around it.
That the society can be better.
That the society can be better. And it's just pathetic that most parents that we have today are not ready to do anything about it.
So why is the family not meeting up to a standard? Is it that everybody has forgotten their responsibility or their roles, or some other thing that eating up their minds, or that is not making them to concentrate and all that?
Not really. I feel that it is because most parents have decided not to be role models again. Because children, they learn fast from what they see. than what you tell
Are
them.
we even having good parents? Let me even start with that.
There are still quite some number of good parents
And they are not.
that
They can't influence their children.
that are making good efforts. But in a situation where we only have a minute section of good parents making good effort, there's no way the parents that are not making any effort, there's no way the children of those parents
will not rub off on this
that are not making any efforts at making their children better will not rub off on. So we will still get the same results.
So now, what do we do as a society? What do we do?
Parents, as they have to wake up and be alive to their responsibility, and this responsibility exceed provision of daily food, clothing, paying school fees, money. It exceeded that.
Okay.
There are qualities and values that should be inculcated in these children, and the earlier we get to it, the better. What I meant by this is that the formative years of a child is between age 0 to 8 years.
Okay.
Those are the times when you have to really have time for your children to sit down with them and begin to inculcate these values into them. But unfortunately, most parents, especially mothers, are found wanting. They are always pursuing after money and working.
Yeah, but if the money is not there still, don't you think the children will still come up and say, mommy, you are lazy, or my parents are lazy, my parents are not meeting up to standard? What are youth going to be thinking as a youth? What will you be thinking? Maybe your colleagues or your friends, you can see that they are driving cars and all that, and you are not able to meet up. What will you be thinking? Is it not your parents that you'll be thinking that they are the fault?
Yeah, you're very right. And what she said is very right, that beyond this money or this financial aspect, if I may put, beyond this financial aspect, there are more important values and attributes that needs to be inculcated into the life of these children as they are growing up. But it is still the same mentality whereby a child feels if my parent does not provide for me, then they are not meeting up to standard, and let me go out to do what is not expected of me. It is still the same values. If parents can help to put these values together, gather them, and make them understandable to the children, that see, everything in this life, it is not money. Everything in life is not money, and whatever you do, money should always come last. If parents can have that mentality and give it to their children, that although we know money is important, okay, we see our neighbor, they ride good cars, they live in good houses, yes, it is fine, we are not against it, but we still want you to understand, as a child or as children, want you to understand that it is not their financial aspect that define who they are. Make them understand that although we know these things are good, you have good cars, you have good houses, you have assets and all of those things are good things. But then there are still some things you need to gather up, because when you have the money and you don't have good character, it is still we can still say,
but it's still youths that would say who character help, who this one help.
It is because it is what she has said. That is the bedrock of all of these things, because from onset, from their formative years, as she has said, as they were growing up, if they've been taught all of these things, youths will not come in their youth age or their youth stage and say who character help or who respects help. They will not come, because they will understand very well that character helps everybody. They will know that respect helps everybody, empathy, kindness, being truthful helps everybody, and it cuts across all areas. So during their formative years, if they have been, the eyes of their understanding have been opened to all of those things, they would not grow up and start saying all of those things.
Okay, let me go back to Mrs. Olufunmilayo. We are Olufunmilola. He just talked about money and all that money is not everything, but even the Bible says money answereth all things. Don't you think that is in a way right?
Well, it is true that the Bible said money answers all things, but not in all cases. Not in all cases.
The love of money is the...
We need money to get a lot of things done. But when we take our times as parents that are the custodians of this rare gift, child rearing or child birthing is a rare privilege. We have a lot of mothers, a lot of parents that are better off that are without children. Not
Without
because
children?
Yes, not because they don't have money, but it is God that can explain that. Not because they don't have money, but if you are privileged to have a child, according to David Frost, he said when you have a child you are a parent, when you have two you become a referee. And I want to go with that quote, because when you have only one child you are a parent, when you have 2, 3, 4, 5 you become a referee.
What do you mean by that?
That is what that actually meant, is that you have to be a role model.
Okay.
Not telling children go this way and they see you going that way.
Okay.
They will believe that way you are going is the right way to go. And they want to follow suit.
Yeah.
That's the makeup of children.
Okay. So now, how do we have this good character to be inculcated into the lives of young people? It's not just you by saying, like what you just said, it's not just saying it. It's you doing it. It's you playing your part so that they can follow you. So how do you think people should model the young ones?
Let me start by what Aristotle said. Aristotle said, "You are what you repeatedly do." Then going by that quote, someone now said, "Excellence ought to be an habit, not an act." Now, an habit is what you do consistently. If a child, you put something here today, and you tell your child or your children,
Don't put
this
it
thing, or let's even say this thing must remain here, and maybe by virtue of circumstance or reason, the child or the children took it from this place and put it somewhere else, then you bring it back there and still tell them, when maybe by virtue of circumstance or reason, you too have a reason to put it there, but because you've told them that this thing remains here, it doesn't go outside of this place, then you leave it there. Whatsoever thing could be doing you at that time, you will leave it there. They see you do that thing today, the next day they see you do the same thing, the next day they see you do the same thing. Even without talking, they are seeing what you are doing. It is the same thing. They will also duplicate. So they are what you do, as she has said, not telling them go this way and you are going the other way. So you are what you repeatedly do. The way you inculcate those habits or those values into them is by you also doing the same thing. So when you are doing the same thing and you are not doing something contrary, then in one way or the other you speak less and you act more. So by you acting more and you speaking less, you are doing what is called education.
Okay.
So that is just the basic.
Okay, we have some parents that beat a lot, that cane a lot, and do you think that has really molded the character of a child?
The truth is, caning has its place in molding the character of a child, but it also has its length. You don't beat a child to stupor. There are some times you don't beat, you talk, and there are some times you beat and you talk. So caning, I don't go against it. It has its own way.
In a way, as a youth, has it helped you? Has it helped people around? Have you seen people that caning helped?
It has helped me a lot.
Okay.
Because I always tell people that I meet that it's as if we have this association of African mothers. Because the way I was brought up, if I start telling my experience, people will just laugh. And some people around me also have similar experience. Because sometimes my mother, if she tells you do this thing once, she tells you the second time, the third time she will not use her mouth to tell you.
Okay.
It is the cane that will tell you, correct your senses, that will tell you, okay, this thing, this is where it should be, or this is how it should. So,
but most people are against beating these days.
Yeah, most people are against beating. People can have their own personal reasons for not beating. For some people, they might say, okay, if you beat my child, he or she can have a disease or a skin problem or something. People have their own personal reasons. But as it stands, caning also has its way of molding your children. So me personally, if you're talking about
Spare
me,
the rod and spoil the child.
yeah, exactly. So me personally, as the question you asked, it has helped me a lot. And then I used to think my mother was a bad person, but now to the world, to the public, even when my mother is not there, I always appreciate that I thank the kind of training my mother gave me, especially even when it comes to that beating aspect.
Okay, let me hear from mommy. How do you think most parents these days don't even want to touch their children? Oh, don't do that, don't do that. They don't want to beat any longer. Even to the extent you see some parents going to schools to fight their teachers. Do you think beating is out of it? Is an old school thing, or do you think the beating aspect should still remain, or I don't know? Let's look at that.
Beating is part of the training we give children. But you don't beat a child out of anger. And you don't beat a child without letting him or her knows the reason why you are beating him. Because that is actually where the corrective aspect comes in. So when you are correcting a child, you just have to let him or her knows, I'm beating you because you lied. And I'm beating you because I love you. So that when you grow up, you become a better person, you become a responsible citizen. When you begin to talk to children like this, they listen and they so much believe in us. So we cannot copy the Europeans. They are the ones that are against beating. And go and see how their society is. Forget about the comfortability of their state, that they have money, they have what it takes to live life comfortably. Forget about all those ones. Look at their own children. Look at the way they turn out to be.
Some parents that also abuse to the extent that might mislead the child or make the child to feel, oh, I'm nothing, I'm worthless, and all that. The parents will say, oh, Lori Buruku, you're stupid, you're this, you're that. So how has that in a way affect our society?
Well, a parent that does that needs to be mentally checked. You know, a lot of parents are passing through stress, and when you are not balanced mentally, it will reflect in everything you do. Most parents are sick. Most parents are not balanced mentally. That's what I mean, especially women. Especially women, because you know, raising a child of a teen is more of a mother's responsibility than that of a father. And imagine a woman
that wakes up very early.
Apart from that, a woman that have been abused by her so-called husband. She's just managing to just make things work, and at times she may unconsciously transfer aggression to the children. And even though that is bad, because it will have a negative effect on those children. So that was why I said most parents need mental checkup.
So Joseph, have you in a way seen people that maybe all this abuse, physical, verbal, and all that affect their way of life?
Of course, very, very much. I've seen a lot. There is something parents need to understand, that there is always a backup to every word we utter to children. So parent needs to be mindful of their words, their choice of words to children. So I've seen a lot that it has affected. I've seen a lot that it has affected.
So now, what are those kind of words that parents need to use to encourage a child? Like, I love you, you are brilliant, and all that. Let's hear more.
Words that are full of love, words that shows empathy, words that portray that you are compassionate, words that shows respect. You know, there's a way you respect your child, even though you are the mother. Yeah, you respect a child. By so doing, you are imbibing the culture of respect into him or her, and at the same time, what you are giving to that child is going to give it back to you. That's another way of learning. You respect a child. You don't treat a child anyhow. You don't speak to a child anyhow, because if you do that, he or she will grow up to talk to you. They will talk back to you.
Not just even to
Not to you,
into
yes,
to go into the society.
into the society. But when children are raised with good values such like respect, compassion, empathy, when a child comes to you and say, ah, see this my little finger, I injure it in school, it's paining me, just move closer, touch it and say, yeah, it's swollen, it's red, oh sorry dear, you can even kiss it, it will be better. When you are done eating, I will give you paracetamol, then you go and rest. By the time you wake up, it will have been gone. You are teaching that child a great lesson. And when he begins to grow up like that, when he sees people in pain, he will empathize with them. He will not just rubbish their feelings and say, what is the meaning of that? No, not that.
Okay, let's look at the educational aspect. Recently, people took JAM, and some of them, that was what we discussed last week, some of them failed and all that. Do you think, and one of the person that we invited said, because he's a tutor, he said, these children don't even come to school sometimes, or they sleep late, they don't read. How do you think about that? Do you think in our educational aspect, we are molding, are we molding a good people that are going to come out great, or people are not facing their education any longer just after the quest for wealth and all that?
Sometimes it can come from personal reasons. But if we are to look critically into that, it is just that we can't start asking we can't start asking them one after the other, why are you not showing interest? But I know if we start asking them one after the other, what is wrong with you? Because we really need to be conscious of our environment. If we see a child that is not showing interest in education, of course something must be wrong. Something must be wrong. So I know if those children are being asked those questions, why is this in your education, why is this that, they will have things to say, and these things still falls back on the part of the parents.
Ma, why are children not really coming out great academically any longer? See people driving big cars in school, high institutions and all that, and some of them just follow suit. They don't want to read any longer. They look for a way to manipulate their ways and all that.
Just like Joseph said, the bulk of parenting, the bulk of the work as regards children falls on good parenting. Most parents have not taken their time to study their children.
Okay.
Most of us are really concerned about being certificated in the university or thereabout. Some of these children are actually going to be better off when they work with their hands, when they have skills, when there are skills inherent in every child. It takes a very sensitive parent, patient parent to cut it out.
Yeah.
Yes. So if some of these children, you are the one forcing them to get a degree, to get a university degree. Some of them, that's why they are not interested.
Okay.
Because we have not taken time to study our children.
Okay. So now we are running out of time and we have a lot to discuss. Let's what advice you have for youth outside there that are just not knowing a way forward, don't even know what to do, and they're just there in the society? Some people are committing suicide, some people are killing themselves and all that. What advice you have for people there?
All right, let me start from the part of the children or the students. Now, one advice I would give to youths is there is no success or victory that does not has the problem parts of it. So wrapped in failure is success. Before you can win a victory, you must have fought a battle. So for whatsoever circumstance or whatsoever situation you find yourself, I would just tell them to keep on with the focus and not allow, or peer pressure will come.
Yeah.
Societal pressure will come, and all of those pressures will come.
But when the value is there.
But when the value is there and you keep your eyes, you keep your gaze focused at what you are pursuing, of course you come out successful. Everyone on the success page now, or on the success seat now, has gone through one problem or the other. But because they stood through the test of time, they were not shaken. Not that the problem did not come, but it came and they just stood their ground on not
And you
following
overcame the
or not
problem.
diverging, just following that. So that is just my advice, that whatsoever thing may come their way, let them just remain focused.
Thank you very much. Let them remain focused. Youth outside there, remain focused. Let's hear from you, ma. In a brief, what do you have to tell parents and young ones?
According to Jesla, children are not things to be molded, but they are humans to be unfolded.
Okay.
And you can unfold these children by the right values you inculcate into them.
Wow.
So when we begin to inculcate the right values into the lives of our children, right from when they are babies, that formative ages 0 to 8 years, by the time they begin to grow up, they begin to unfold the love you have kept there, the compassion you have kept there,
So not
the
molding
empathy
now.
you have kept there, the honesty you have kept there, the hard work that you have kept there. And when parents make up their mind to be role models, we will have a better society.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming. And thank you, viewers at home, for being there. You've heard it all. Parents, you have a lot to do. And youth outside there, don't be carried away by what you see. It is going to be fine if you work hard. Thanks for being there. Until come your way again on the same program next week. Bye-bye.